Welcome to In the Chambers of the Chambers by Alhad Oak. Today we have a delight. We are going to meet Mustafa Motiwala, who's senior partner, head of litigation and dispute resolution at Clasis Law and Associates. Mustafa, thank you for being in the Chambers of the Chambers. It's such a pleasure to meet you today. And I'm sure everybody who's watching this, they will have a delight and super insights today.
Thank you, Alhad. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you today.
So, whether legal profession was a natural choice to you? How was that?
Interesting question, Alhad. The honest answer is no, it was not a natural choice. I am actually an accidental lawyer, as we call it, in the classic expression of it. I wanted to be a chartered accountant. Initially, I started with that. I did some, few days working in a CA office, but that didn't match up to me. And then someone suggested, why don't you try law? So that's why I stumbled upon law, and I took admission in law college. And in fact, from my first day of law college, I started working in a law office, and that really helped me later on in life. But yes, it was not a planned career. It was, as I said, an accidental career, which actually turned out to be very good.
So, education at reputed law schools or on the ground experience, what would you rate higher?
So let me take you back maybe 25 years when I started my career. That time there were not many, or rather very few national law schools that we have today. And to answer your question, speaking for myself, yes, I was in government law college, a very reputed law school then. But I must say at the same time that, as I mentioned earlier, I started working right from the first day of my law college in first year. And frankly, working in a law firm really helped me understand things, especially the field that I'm in, which is dispute resolution and litigation, as to what is real, what is a real thing, what is actually happening in courts, what's the procedural aspects of it. So, well, I can't define a perfect answer. I mean, it's a balance of two. A good law school is required, for a better grooming, and plus law schools now are much better, and the grooming is much better than it was earlier during our times. A lot of activities, a lot of moot courts, etc. are happening at international level, domestic level, which helps groom a lawyer within the school itself. However, that said, some internship programs in law firms or elsewhere where they have real law experience during their study is equally important, and both needs to be balanced in a way.
So, first step in the legal profession or first appearance in the court, how was your experience?
Well, my first couple of days in the office when I started the profession is very, very interesting. In fact, my senior gave me a couple of files and said, why don't you make notes, in your understanding, whatever your understanding is of the matter. So I was quite that enthusiastic youngster, I made all my notes on the facts based on the brief, etc. And I took it to my senior. He said, well, thank you very much, you made notes, but these cases are all disposed of. Both the cases are over. But we just wanted to know how you analyze the case at your level. And that I found very interesting. The other thing I was actually taught in those days is to how to tie up your files and how to keep your brief in order, and how to keep your papers in order. We didn't have so much of soft copies then. It was all hard copies, in those days, in the 90s, the early 90s. And one of the very important aspect of a junior trainee or somebody doing law as a fresher to maintain his files for his senior and for himself. So that is something that I learned initially. And well, the first day of appearance, that thought gave me still butterflies in the stomach. Of course, I was nervous, I was upset, I rehearsed my very few lines what I have to say the next day in court, but finally it went through.
So from intern to partner, I'm sure it's quite a journey. So how you grew as a person and professional, if you can elaborate on that, please.
Well, so let me start with my internship days and my very article clerk days, which I did at my first law firm. So in fact, as an intern, I wanted to do everything at the same time, which I think is really not possible, but there was a lot of zeal. There is that hunger in the stomach, fire in the belly, that I will do everything and, do it for my senior, do it for the matter, do it for my firm. But actually what happens in reality is that the intern may be given a particular piece of a matter, and then one has to do real hard work for the piece of the matter that's been given to you. It could be research given to me, or maybe some small drafting given to me, or maybe just go and watch the board in the court, or just go and look for a counsel. I mean, I've done that, run after counsels to get to the court, but even that has to be done with dedication. So that is very important. But as I grew along the ladder, and I went up and I changed my position, associate, senior associate, and then partner, and so on. Now the perspective has changed completely. So now I need to look at from a bird's eye view before I deep dive into a matter, and I look at the business of it. There are two elements to strategy. One is the law, and one is what the business or the problem is all about. All right. So the horizons are widened because we have to then marry the commerce and the economies and the business with the law for a given problem in a matter. So it has changed quite a bit, and I think that comes with time and with experience, and maybe absorbing what people around you do, the seniors around you do. That's exactly what I have done in the past, and that has really benefited me eventually when I became a partner.
Any particular incident that you remember of that you, about yourself and your firm, you feel proud that you are in this profession? If you can share some insights on that.
Yes, Alhad. In fact, being in the profession, what makes me proud is that I think I'm able to contribute something to several causes, all right, and it has impacted people's lives and businesses, and at the end of the day, it gives a job satisfaction to me. So I'm really happy about that I'm in this profession. I feel proud that I'm in the profession, and actually I've found a place to do my work to my satisfaction and to people's satisfaction as well. Insofar as the firm is concerned, well, at Clasis, we have done a lot of things that we think we should be proud of. I mean, there's a lot to say, but I can give you just one or two small examples. One is in the field of insolvency, we have done a great matter which actually changed the position of foreign creditors not having a bank account in India to come and sue in India under the insolvency code. So that is something that was a kind of a game changer, and it will always remain with me in my career, as something to be proud of from a firm perspective. We also have done some very good matters on the Admiralty side, which also we think have been quite impactful in that sphere of law in the country.
So pandemic, lockdown was like a different event for us. What were your top 3 learnings in pandemic?
Well, Allah, there was a lot of learnings, but the top 3 I would rate as this. One being that you don't need too much money to live a happy life. Second is we need to learn how to separate the wheat from the chaff, in the sense that what is a real necessity for us to live and what are the other paraphernalia around it, which sometimes are too kind of artificial or really not required to be got into. That is something that I have learned, and I think many of us have learned. Third and more important is that life is too short and uncertain. So we need to live our lives. All right, we need to stop being in the rat race at a particular point and be there for the family, be there for friends, and enjoy in whatever way we can. At the same time, of course, work along, but yeah, enjoy life.
So legal tech is the buzzword right now. How do you envisage a future life of our lawyers?
Yes, it is definitely a buzzword, and I think legal tech has been used very, very efficiently to help the legal profession. So I am restricting my answer to legal profession because that's what I am in, and I could talk about that. But research work has been very effective and not as time consuming as it was earlier. Earlier we used to have a lot of paperwork and a lot of writings here and there. All that has been taken care of by something what we now popularly use, which is called the liquid text. And everything is on screen, and that is very helpful in matters. It saves paper. We go green. That is very important as well. And overall, technology has helped us achieve better results in terms of handling the entire matter and achieving the end result also more effectively, and more importantly within the time frames. Because if we spend our time effectively and time management is done well with the help of technology, eventually it helps the client, it helps the matter, and we get justice faster.
So overall, how you define success?
Well, again, in my view, for myself, the definition has kept on changing, I would say every 10 years or maybe every 8 to 10 years. Alright, earlier it was just money, I want to buy a house, I want to buy a car, I want to do holidaying, I want to go here, I want to go there, and stuff like that. For that we require money. So my definition of success was I should earn more money. Of course, money is important now as well, and it will remain forever. But now the definition has shifted quite a bit. The balance is kind of moved, and now I look at more, what matters I do, what kind of things I'm doing within the profession, how I am dealing a matter, how I'm dealing with the clients, and what satisfaction I get in doing my job, in the matters that I do. That is also one way that I define my success now. So as I said, of course, money will remain important always for all of us, because that's the basic thing, the basic requirement of life. But apart from that, my definition has changed, as I just mentioned. And I think there's no precast definition of success even as I speak. It may change after the next few years. I don't know to what it will go to. But yeah, it's kind of changing every year. And it's getting better now, than what it was. So I do a hindsight analysis. I think my definition is much better, and I'm working towards it, and we'll work more towards it if in case it changes in the future.
So, any particular insights that you want to give it to young lawyers and students who want to be part of this profession?
Certainly, Alhad. First and most important, there is no substitute for hard work. Right? You have to keep on working hard, keep your focus on, put your head down and work as a young lawyer. That's all what we had done, I had done, and so many of my peers have done. And that will yield results in the future. You may not get immediate results, all right, in the sense that you will realize as you perhaps spend 5, 7, 10 years in the profession that all your hard work that you've done earlier in your initial stages, everything helps you. Every small thing helps you. And one other important message I would like to give, that no matter is small, right? It may be small in value in terms of number, but it will still have good law points in it, because no two matters are the same, right? It will still, if you work hard on it, you will find nuances, you will find separate points which will make the matter different, and which will make you maybe put a different perspective in a matter, which is very important.
Mustafa, thank you for In the Chambers. Now we are in Off the Chambers, and lawyer is good as a profession, but if not lawyer, what would you have loved to be?
Alhad, you have struck the right chord, actually. My wish list,
Yes.
I don't know whether I was ever fit for it, was to become maybe an actor,
Wow.
or a director, or both.
Wow.
I don't know anything about direction as we speak. I never knew, but it was my wish list, as I said. And acting, yes, I thought I can be an actor. I never tried my hand at it, but I feel I missed out on the opportunity at a young age.
Now I can see that the frame just behind you is quite telling.
Yeah, so in fact that is one of my all-time favorite movies, and every time I watch the movie I learn something new from the dialogues and the script and the way it's all gone about. And yeah, it's very, very learning. It's a guiding movie for me.
So, being born and brought up in Surat, I'm sure kite flying must be your passion.
Of course, it was. As a growing up kid and during my teenager days, we used to do this every year, and a few days in that particular season of 14th January. But unfortunately now I'm not able to do it. But I do apply the principles of kite flying sometimes in real life, as they say in kite flying, pehle dheel do, baad mein khicho. But that works very well in life as well.
So, how you help Jamila on the daily household chores? Do you help with cooking and utensils?
So I can give a very platonic answer, but I'm sure her answer is going to vary completely. It will be opposite of what I say. But yeah, I don't help in cooking. I can't cook to save my life. I can help her do some menial jobs, which I do over the weekends.
Okay.
And household chores, yeah, I do help her when we go out shopping together. My personal passion in shopping is to go and buy vegetables from the market.
Wow.
So I try to accompany her to do that. I can't do the bargaining in vegetables, she does that. But I do accompany her many times. And general shopping, yeah, I go with her because I like to shop with her.
Yeah, that's nice. You are helping wife for shopping and all that. But have you ever missed your marriage anniversary?
Well, no, I don't think so. I've ever missed a marriage anniversary. If I had missed, I would not be this smiling. But yes, there were several plans around the marriage anniversary which I have missed because of professional commitments. And one other aspect of my not missing a marriage anniversary is just convenience of the date. It's in the end of December. So generally things are a little off during that period. So it helps me, save my skin.
So your both daughters are pursuing completely different profession. How do you see that?
Yeah, so actually, Alhad, they are miles away from law. They didn't take up law after me. They have taken to their mother, which is very good.
Okay.
Both are more creative and very artistic. So my elder one is doing masters in furniture design, and my younger one is still under graduation, under study, and she's doing food science in baking and pastry. So this is completely different field. I never knew this field existed till my daughter started doing it. But yeah, I'm quite good with it as long as they do it passionately and seriously. I think they are free to pursue what they want.
Absolutely. So I'm asking a very philosophical, so to say, question that how do you seek peace or spirituality?
Well, yeah, it is truly very philosophical, and I'm not going to give you a very platonic answer on this. But my realistic answer is that, yeah, I believe in the Almighty. I'm sure everyone does in their own religion, whatever they need to believe in. But I personally also believe that if you do your day-to-day work with conviction, I think you will get a lot of spirituality, and the final serenity will follow if you adopt honesty and integrity and day-to-day work.
Mustafa, thank you for being in the chambers of the chambers. Such a pleasure to have you on this discussion.
Alhad, thank you very much for having me here. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
If you have enjoyed the video, please like the video, share it to your friends and family, and subscribe in the chambers of the chambers and hit bell icon so that you get all future notifications.